Greg Ehrenberg here, filling in for Adam on the FanDuel MLB Tournament Plays video, filling in for him on DraftKings as well. But throughout the week, Adam's away. I'm be covering for him. Do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel so nobody thinks that this video is a total failure in Adam's absence. I want to make sure I'm getting a little bit of due here, making sure I'm carrying my weight. Also, shout out to Prize Picks, the sponsor of today's show. If you guys sign up at Prize Picks for the first time using the promo code Awesemo, get up to a $100 bonus on your first deposit. Really good way to help start building that bankroll. Now, these are my favorite tournament plays for Monday's main slate, talking about the night slate for Memorial Day over on FanDuel. Going to start with two of my favorite contrarian stacks. One of them is the Los Angeles Dodgers. And just whenever we're getting the Dodgers at modest ownership on a smaller slate, I'm going to want to get their overweight to the field. And for tonight, we have them with an 11.2% chance to be the top stack, 10.2% ownership. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. They have the best offense in all of baseball, particularly against right-handed pitching. There is no reprieve for opposing pitchers when they're going up against the Los Angeles Dodgers. From top to bottom, this offense is totally loaded, filled with stars, guys with power upside. So you could go to the back end of the order with guys like Chris Taylor or Cody Bellinger to get even more reduced ownership share on the Dodgers and still have some upside there. But I mean, what else could we say about Los Angeles? It's a loaded offense. They've won 13 of their last 15 games. They're number one in WRC plus against right-handed pitching. It makes a whole lot of sense to get to them. The next team I'm going to highlight is the Atlanta Braves. And it's hard to like this on paper. This is not a team that has the overall best chance to be the top scoring team, but this is why they make sense in large field tournaments. For starters, the Braves, we have to look at their numbers and kind of take it with a grain of salt because they've been below average as an offense this year. But there's been a lot of injuries. There's also been guys that have struggled just with their performance lower than what we normally expect from them to open up the year. But Ronald Acuna is finally healthy. He's playing really well right now. And that's obviously a massive upgrade to the offense. Remember last year, he was the favorite to win the National League MVP award prior to getting hurt. So him being in the lineup every day, I think that's going to ultimately elevate them to being an above average offense. Then you also got other guys like Marcell Ozuna. He's hitting the ball better. 2 home runs last night. We saw Matt Olson. He had a pair of doubles yesterday. He's starting to hit the ball better. I do think that we're going to see the Braves become one of the best offenses in baseball, or in one of the best ones in the National League at the very least. And now if they're healthy, that should really help the case. I understand this is a difficult matchup against Zach Allen, but here's why there's some leverage involved. Zach Allen's projected to be one of the most over-owned pitchers on FanDuel, according to our top pitchers tool. And then it's something else also is that leads to the Atlanta Braves having the top leverage score in the top stacks tool, 3.3% leverage score. This is not a high probability stack. If you're playing one or two lineups, it's not the first team I would recommend to play. But in large field tournaments, I think that all the numbers that we have in our tools make sense as this being an offense to be a little bit overweight to the field on. Moving over to the pitchers that I like for tournament purposes, and I'm going to start with Drew Rasmussen, who's one of my favorite plays in both DraftKings and FanDuel. And Rasmussen, he has a lower price point on FanDuel than he does on DK. He's priced at $8,900, but he's still coming in with really low ownership. 4% ownership for Rasmussen on FanDuel, 10.2% chance to be the top scoring pitcher. And I really like his matchup against the Texas Rangers, an offense that looked like they should be better this year by adding Marcus Semien and Corey Seager in the offseason, but it just hasn't amounted to the results that I think a lot of us would have expected. They have a 95 WRC plus against right-handed pitching. They also have a 22.4% K rate against righties. And then we look at the numbers for Rasmussen this year. Quietly, he's been one of the best pitchers in the American League. 2.68 ERA, 2.91 FIP, 23.7% K rate. Rasmussen has been elite this year. He also has a good matchup against the Rangers, and we could have him at low ownership. As for a cost-saving option, as a contrarian tournament play over on FanDuel, I'm looking at Rich Hill, and it's hard to feel great about Rich Hill as a pitcher because the results haven't been good this year. The strikeout rate is only at 16.7%, but the matchup against the Baltimore Orioles is really what's appealing here. The Orioles are 29th in baseball against southpaws with a 77 WRC plus, and they also strike out a ton. They have a 26.2% K rate against lefties. That is the third highest in all of baseball. And then if I have to look at one positive for Rich Hill when it comes to his FanDuel scoring, I never would have played him earlier in the year because of struggles with going deep into games, limited pitch counts. But he has had recent starts where he's gone 6 innings. That was his last time out, his longest start of the year. And then a few starts before that, he went 5 innings. So it looks like we're finally starting to get a little bit more length out of Rich Hill. That'll help him over on FanDuel. We're getting points for the win bonus and the quality start. And then, of course, I just love the matchup against the Baltimore Orioles. That's going to do it. Those are my favorite tournament plays for FanDuel for Monday night. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment below. Who are your guys' favorite tournament plays tonight?